morning. Welcome to a new episode of FSD Doctor Talks. Junk food, laziness, and the brain hijack. I don't know if you've heard the phrase, but it is said that junk food hijacks your brain. But what does that actually mean? Let's break it down. Because the science behind it explains why a simple combo of burger, fries, and a diet soft drink can literally reprogram your hunger and reward circuits in just a few days. When you eat ultra-processed food, that's a perfect mix of fat, sugar, and salt. You're actually hitting your brain's reward center like a dopamine bomb. That combination isn't random. As I mentioned before, it's engineered. Food scientists have designed these foods to light up your dopamine system. That's the same center that's triggered by drugs or gambling. Those first bites trigger a massive surge of dopamine, your pleasure chemical, and your brain labels that food as a reward. Now here's the kicker. After just 4 days of eating like that, your dopamine receptors begin to downregulate. Your brain becomes less sensitive. So, in fact, to get the same pleasure hit, you need to eat more. And because these foods are low in protein and fiber, your leptin, which is your fullness hormone, never gets to say I'm done. So you stay hungry even when your stomach is full. And this is why sometimes you might have said, I had a cheat week, or it was the holidays. That can very easily take you off track very quickly. Those few days are enough to retune your dopamine system and silence your fullness cues. After you come back home, you're actually still craving the junk you said was just for the weekend. It doesn't take months. Sometimes it takes less than a week for your brain to get rehooked. Now, if you add a diet soft drink or a drink with a sweetener in it to that meal, you might be thinking, it's sugar-free, right? But your brain doesn't care about the calorie counts. Artificial sweeteners, which are there in the diet drinks, still activate your sweet taste receptors and signal your brain that sugar is coming. So insulin gets released, but no glucose arrives. And that mismatch confuses your metabolism and suppresses the leptin, which is your satiety hormone, and makes you crave more. So dopamine says more, and your leptin says silent. You've short-circuited your internal feedback mechanism. That's why you can eat a large meal and still want dessert. This isn't actually lack of self-control. It's biochemistry by design. And over time, those false insulin signals, even from that zero sugar sweetener or zero calorie drinks, contribute to insulin resistance. And then your cells stop responding to insulin, your blood sugar slowly creeps up, and your brain starts running on fumes, because the brain actually always needs glucose as a substrate for energy, unlike your muscles and other tissues. Now, just talk about laziness. When your brain is caught in that reward loop, you don't just crave food, you crave ease. You start reaching for foods that are already ready. Foods in a packet, in a wrapper, in a drive-through bag. And this is because your dopamine system now wants instant reward, not a delayed effort. So it's not just your appetite that changes, it's your behavior. That's why it feels so much harder to cook a meal when you're in that state. Even opening the fridge feels like hard work. And do you know what's crazy? This isn't just mental weakness, it's a physiological dopamine crash. Your reward system has been hijacked to seek these instant hits and avoid anything that requires patience. That's why scrolling on your phone and eating from a packet feels so easy together. It's the same neural pathway, instant gratification. The more you eat that way, the more your brain associates effort with pain and packaged reward with pleasure. You keep looping. You crave, you eat. You crash, you repeat. And then you start to feel tired all the time. Low energy, no motivation, can't focus. You're not actually lazy, you're actually chemically slowed down. And then slowly, as insulin resistance builds in your body, your brain cells struggle to use the glucose properly. You get brain fog, poor memory, and low drive. It's literally like your brain is running on low power mode. And to think that it all started with the convenience food cycle. And do you know what? The food industry plays you perfectly. They call it the bliss point. It's the perfect ratio of sugar, fat, and salt to make you keep coming back. They just don't want you satisfied, they want you hooked. The more you eat, the harder it becomes to stop. And over time, your brain's self-control circuits weaken. You start craving the very foods that make you tired, foggy, and inflamed. And then, over months and years, that chronic overstimulation naturally leads to dopamine fatigue. Your pleasure center goes numb. You eat more, but you feel less satisfied. You move less, but you crave more stimulation. And soon, the same brain that once ran on purpose runs only on autopilot mode. This is the real definition of metabolic dullness. It's not just weight gain, it's a slow, silent dimming of energy focus and drive. That's why junk food diets are linked to depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. So remember, when you eat, you're not just feeding your body, you're actually feeding the circuit that controls motivation. But after all that doom and gloom, there is some good news. The brain is actually capable of resetting very fast. Within a few weeks of eating real food, whole foods, protein-rich, fiber-filled, and minimally processed, you can get the dopamine to stabilize. And then the leptin starts speaking again. Insulin starts behaving again. And slowly but surely you'll feel the fog lift off your brain. And then you start to feel that you're noticing yourself being more sharper, calmer, and more productive. You start reaching for real food. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because your body finally wants it again. Whole food is not boring. It's the original reward system your brain is actually designed for. Every clean, real meal is like hitting the reset button on your biology. Scratch that. Every clean, real meal is like hitting the reset button on your biology. So next time you say, it was just the holidays, I only had a cheat week, just remember, it doesn't take long to lose control. But it also doesn't take long to get it back. Feed your brain, not your cravings. This is Dr. Hafiz Salim, and you're watching FSD Doctor Talks. Drive safe, eat smart, and don't let your brain get hacked by food, especially by convenience. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your questions and comments, and feel free to drop any ideas for new episodes. See you at the next episode. Thank you very much.